All right, we wait, we watch, and boy, oh boy, what an incredible storm this is. This is a 2 o'clock update live from downtown Cleveland in the Channel 3 studios. The whole team is really keeping a close eye on this. I've been on coordination calls with news and weather service and all kinds of stuff since about 8:30 this morning. So we are definitely keeping a very close watch on a few new updates. There have been some adjustments as we expected. But man, this storm is here to impress. The rain has moved in. I told you all along, rain on Wednesday, and the rain today, even with temperatures so nice in the upper 30s and low 40s, the rain right now is a problem because all of the water that you see standing around, all those puddles, those will be freezing solid tomorrow as the temperatures drop. So we have an underlying ice problem, and then we're going to throw the snow on top of all of that. Huge plume of moisture feeding right up into the Ohio Valley from the deep south. You can definitely see where the cold front is. We are getting a mix reported now in northwest Ohio. They're getting heavy snow coming down in northern Indiana. Sleet, freezing rain mix just south of St. Louis that goes right back into northwestern portions of Arkansas and then back into Texas. This is going to be the problem for us later in the day tomorrow. We have a couple waves of this storm that will be coming in. First and foremost is the changeover tonight. This is going to take the rain over to a mix to snow. And then we stay with the snow as we go through the evening. So we're going to be in this area. We'll get a little bit of a lull at times tomorrow. But then tomorrow afternoon and evening, this is expected to move up the backside of the Appalachian Mountains. That is going to be the second surge. You'll probably hear me say, and you'll see it on Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff, beware the second surge. That's what I'm going with because, man, it does look like it's going to pack quite a punch. Notice that, and you can kind of see here, the clouds and the showers that are coming northeastward are riding right on the front. So we are not expecting this to be a quick pass. This is going to come in and it's going to hold. The front is not going to make it all the way through our area tonight. I think it's going to hang out just south of our area, probably down around the I-70 corridor by the morning tomorrow. And that then becomes the path for that next surge to come through. But the temperature gradient from Ohio back into Illinois is incredible. Temperatures are well below freezing now. They're in the 20s in the Chicago area with the teens not too far away. And the temperatures are going to be dropping very quickly. There are a lot of alerts to talk about. Ice storm warnings to the south. Now, I know you are going to say 4 of these things are not like the others. That is in case you're wondering, fact right now, but in the next couple of hours, everything is going to go pink. That was one of the big calls with the National Weather Service. I just got off the phone. So the National Weather Service in Cleveland is going to be upgrading Knox, Holmes, Stark, and Mahoning counties to the winter storm warning. So all of us will be under a winter storm warning for this storm starting this afternoon, and that will continue into Friday morning. As mentioned, the rain is coming down now. We have had some upticks in the rain. That's pretty interesting. And you can see the leading edge of that out toward the state line area. Farther to the west, this is where we're getting more concentrated rain. It may start to get into thick rain territory, especially as you get out toward Toledo, but we're going to start to see that mix really kind of strengthening its hold in northwest Ohio. And then later this evening, it is going to start to move east, and we are still anticipating the changeover from the rain to the mix to the snow as we go through the night tonight. This is a painful process for meteorologists at this point because we are getting absolutely hammered by people telling us how horrible we are. But here's the thing, it's a forecast, not a report. We know it's raining. We've told you it was going to rain first. We have to wait for that cold air, and once the cold air comes in, that's when the action starts to happen. So pockets of heavier rain where you see the darker greens and the brighter yellows, so that's not good. Remember, this may not have places to go. I was driving in on the highway today, saw a lot of standing water on these roads. This is downtown Cleveland on the ODOT cam. We're going to look at a whole bunch of cameras, so I hope you are ready for that. You can see the rain that is on the camera lens right now. Very wet roads. We've had snow melt. We actually have had beneficial snow melt. We got rid of a bit of the snowpack, especially on roofs. I'm happy about that. but now we have all this standing water, so that's not necessarily a good thing. Here's Toledo. I think they have just made the change into a rain-snow mix in the Toledo area. Look how murky it is. As that cold air comes in, we're probably going to have some fog that accompanies it as well. And of course, Lake Erie sits just north of there, and with a northeast wind, you're getting the marine effect, so that cooling wind coming in off of the ice, so you're probably going to end up having some fog as this comes in. But this is 75 at State Route 2, basically close to downtown Toledo. Meanwhile, farther south into Lima, it is still just rain in Lima, and you can see all the wet roads there. What's left of the corn, still wet. Bowling Green, same story. Now, we're going to start to see their changeover taking place here over the next couple of hours. But for now, it is still fog. It is still raining. The heavier rain is out that way, too. And the northeast in Port Clinton. Now, I mentioned the lake. The lake is ice covered for the most part now, and that cold air is coming in off of the lake, the northeast wind. So it chills everything. We have all this moisture in the air, and you chill it, you're going to have fog. And you can see just how murky it looks out there. Look at all, you can even see the reflection of trees in the puddles at this point. It's all going to be ice by the time we hit tomorrow evening. Downtown Columbus, oy, what a mess, right? Columbus is a hot mess anyway with traffic. Things are going to get real crazy later tonight and tomorrow as all of this water starts to kind of dance with the chance of freezing rain as they get into the start of the day tomorrow. Back up here in Northeast Ohio, Ashland looking good, just some wet roads right now. Same for Akron, wet roads. You can see the rain showing up on the lens of the camera there. New Philadelphia, very murky, but just wet roads. I'm showing you all this because we are making a line. We are going to say, yes, it is rain now, but we will watch this transition taking place as we go through the evening. And these are all the cameras that we're keeping an eye on, plus about 100 others. And I think the big thing here is that we will have a changeable situation over the next 12 hours. We're still sitting close to 40 degrees in all of Northeast Ohio. Winds are still out of the south, but look right here. Port Clinton sits right there. Toledo over here, remember that northeast wind, the murky conditions? That is that northeast wind that's driving the colder air in. That's where the temperatures are in the mid-30s. They're going to be in the low 30s very quickly, and we will have that changeover taking place. All right, top 3 updates from the morning update. Rain and snow melt will mean standing water, and this will freeze. That has been unchanged since we started talking about this storm on Sunday. So that's good news, at least in consistency terms. The changeover timing will still be this evening into Thursday morning. We have slowed the progression of the changeover just a little bit, but the changeover is still expected to happen. And now we are looking at all-day snow and some snow mix, especially south, Thursday. And temperatures will be tumbling. Thus, we go back to update 1, which is that freezing of standing water. So lots to talk about. Winter storm timeline, still the same. Rain today into late this evening. That rain will change to a snowy ice mix, and then we will have snow as we head through the day on Thursday. We may have a little mixing that lingers, especially in Tuscarawas and Carroll counties, down toward that I-70 corridor, but the rain will be coming in waves. We will have surges, the snow. We will have surges of snow as we go through the day on Thursday, and beware the second wave, because in the afternoon, things could get pretty yucky for most of Northeast Ohio as another harder wave of snow comes in, and by Friday it's clearing out. Now, let's talk about this progression, the changeover. This is from generally northwest to southeast, so these are all the cities, and all of these blocks are different precipitation types by time. So we have rain in green, we have snow in the dark and light blue, freezing rain, which is rain that freezes on contact, so that's the glaze of ice. That's in the dark purple, and sleet is in the pink. Now, sleet can cause problems too, don't get me wrong, but sleet takes up a lot of moisture in the atmosphere, so that kind of takes a little sizzle out of the snow accumulations. But you can see Sandusky this evening will go from a short period of freezing rain into sleet, and then we'll get into the possibility of periods of heavy snow overnight tonight for Sandusky and points west, so that's the Toledo area basically. Meanwhile, east of Sandusky, close to the lakeshore, so think Lorain, Cleveland, all the way out to Ashtabula, the rain continues this evening, and then we'll have a short window of freezing rain changing to sleet, and then it kicks into snow mode as we get into the latter part of the evening. We're kind of eyeballing the 7 to 10 p.m. time frame for that. And because it's Cleveland and the Lakeshore, it'll be on the early end of that. Farther south, it'll be a little bit later. Now let's go way south, Mansfield to Worcester. We're thinking rain all the way into mid-evening, so probably about that 8, 9, 10 o'clock time frame. That's when we will get some freezing rain. Okay, Peyton just showed me here. Let me have your phone. Peyton here with me today. Look. It's all pink. Remember I told you it was coming? There's your winter storm warning. All right, we all have the winter storm warning now. We'll update those graphics. Thanks, Peyton. So Mansfield to Worcester, we've got the rain that goes through about 8, 9, 10 p.m. and then we're going to have a freezing rain period. I think this period may be a little bit longer of some freezing rain. We'll get into sleet. This is supposed to be pink. So sleet, and then we'll have snow as we start the day tomorrow in that area. Akron, the rain holds on a little later. Okay, so the rain probably after 10 p.m. will start to change over to freezing rain. Remember, that's the glaze. Then we'll have a period of sleet, and I think we could see that sleet hold on for a little while before changing to snow more toward daybreak. Then you get our far southern counties, and this is like the big gamble of this whole thing. Where will this glazing of ice have an impact? And at this point, it looks to be south of Canton, where the rain will hold on tonight. So lots of water standing around, and then that cold air hits. And in the early morning, I think a lot of that will be freezing up. So we'll probably have a period of freezing rain and sleet that will continue through the morning and then mix with some snow probably after daybreak tomorrow. So that starts to really monkey with the overall accumulations. I guarantee you, you're going to hear neighbors, families, friends, and everybody saying how horrible we are because we didn't get the snow we thought we were going to get when you told us about this on Sunday. There's so many things that are changing all at once right now, and precipitation type determines what kind of accumulations you get. So you can see the south wind continues as we go through 5 o'clock. There's your changeover line, and it's a very shallow layer of sub-freezing air that comes in first. That's the cold front. That's freezing rain. And as we start to get that cold air at the bottom, getting a little thicker, all the raindrops will freeze into little ice cubes before they can finally fall all as snow. So we'll go over precipitation types later on today. But you can see there's that cold air as it drops in over the lake. This is 7 p.m. Watch what happens by 9. Now we're starting to get into the thick of things. Sandusky is in all snow down to 30 degrees. We have a sleet mix with some snow happening across greater Cleveland, and that line just painfully, slowly marches south, and that's why we've kind of slowed the progression of that changeover a little bit. So once we get into the late night hours, now that column of air above us should be below freezing. All snow, temperatures in the 20s near the lakeshore. So we are talking about a hard hit of heavy snow on top of already saturated and very wet ground. That's going to make slush. At these temperatures, that slush will start to freeze up. Meanwhile, farther south now, Canton down to Dover, getting into the freezing rain and sleet mix in the early morning. And you can see how that sleet mix holds on for Dover and Carrollton. Meanwhile, the temperatures are in the mid-20s. We still have heavy snow falling throughout much of northeast Ohio. This is why I think we will have a ton of eye alerts tomorrow. I think the superintendents are not going to mess with this thing because not only do we have snow in the morning, but remember what I've been saying? What's the new thing? Beware the second wave. Watch how this day is going to go. We've got snow coming down at 8 a.m., temperatures in the 20s, and you can kind of see these little pulses that we're expecting to come through. So we'll get a burst of heavier snow, and then it'll kind of back off to light snow, and then it may tick up a little bit and then back off for a while to uptick again. And so we're going to go through these little pulses, these little bits of energy work their way through. By 10 a.m., two things to note. Here comes another surge of snow, but look at the temperatures. They are going the wrong way. We will have falling temperatures in the afternoon as this Arctic air spills in. This is a big part of our snow accumulation because as the temperatures fall, we will have fluffier snow. So tonight it's very wet and gross and slushy accumulation that we will have. That will freeze, so it's like a plate for the fluffy snow that comes in tomorrow afternoon, and I think we're going to have some pretty good fluff factor. So it's a layered type of a situation, which is not real good. Beware the second wave, right? Watch this. Woo! Now we get a whole big wave of heavier snow that's moving into the area. Temperatures are now down in the teens. Great fluff factor. Meanwhile, we still have some sleet and snow that is falling down in our southern counties. Dependent upon exactly how this plays out, we could see significant accumulations shifting south. If the whole storm system, that whole thing coming out of Texas, goes farther south than forecast right now, we'll see accumulations increase farther south. And there have been shifts toward that direction. Nobody's really locking in on it yet. Look at 5 p.m. Remember I told you the whole day. Here is the surge, the wave, the middle of that second wave. And now temperatures are in the teens. We have windy conditions to talk about, so blowing and drifting snow. It's all fluff. It is going to be really gnarly out in Northeast Ohio on the roadways. Temperatures keep falling, just like the snow, as we go through the evening. Once we get past 10, 11 o'clock, we should start to see the snow rates backing off in Cleveland. Meanwhile, it's still snowing to beat the band over in the Berg. And then Thursday night, we'll continue to see light snow just linger. It's not going to leave us alone anytime soon. Afternoon on Friday, that's when it finally gets out of here. We'll have a period of clearing. We actually get to see the sunset on Friday. But oh, that is not good news, because we have Arctic air in place. We have a brand new snowpack, and that will mean frigid temperatures by the time we hit Saturday morning. I think a lot of Northeast Ohio could be looking at sub-zero temperatures to begin our Saturday. Ouch. All right, here's when this changeover is expected to take place. After I just showed you all of that, about 4 to 7 p.m. or so for Lorain and westward. That would include you in Milan, Norwalk, and then over toward the Huron area, Port Clinton, the islands. Believe it or not, there are people on the islands, so holla to the people on the islands. But then farther inland, now we're talking Cleveland, Painesville, Ashtabula, down into the Mansfield area, 7 to 11. Note the angle of these lines. That's the cold front. This is all cold front driven, and this is that shallow layer of cold air coming in right at the surface to get that freezing rain to sleet mix going. 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. This is where things are going to take its sweet time. It's almost like it's pumping the brakes, like tapping the brakes just a little bit, because that thing in Texas is going to start to make a move, and that kind of changes the way everything moves a little bit. And then in our far southern areas, Tuscarawas, Carroll counties, we're going to hold on to that sleet mix for a good chunk of the morning, if it holds on. So we have to talk about how this is all going to go down in terms of the accumulations. Sleet and freezing rain suck up a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. Snow, dependent upon the temperatures and the humidity schemes, can do very crazy things. There's a thing called a snow ratio, how much snow you can get out of an inch of rain, okay? So snow ratios of 8 to 1, 8 inches of snow per 1 inch of rain. Snow ratios of 15 to 1, 15 inches of snow out of 1 inch of rain. So we're talking about snow ratios that are going to be changing for this duration. We're going to go from probably 5 or 6 to 1 at the very start, when we start to see those snowflakes, to upwards of 10 to 12 inches per inch of rain. But we're not getting an inch of rain. So now you got to play this little mathematical game that drives you nuts. Where is all the best juju coming together with the best conditions? Well, we're still thinking west. At this point, we're still thinking Sandusky over toward Toledo has the best chance of getting 12 plus inches of snow. 8 to 11, I know everybody's going, ugh, you didn't say 8 to 11. Well, keep in mind, this is a changing situation, and we will have spots to 13. I really think we are going to have the fluff factor that will drive some of these big totals up. That is all on top of the slush that we are getting, though. So that is the other complicating factor. It may not look like a ton of snow on paper. It's nowhere near the amount of snow that we got in the last storm, but it's falling on now solid ice that is on the ground, and that layering is going to mean impacts that last a long time. Inland areas farther south, so Worcester over to Canton, Millersburg, 4 to 8 inches. This is a sleet and snow mix. This is where the second surge, beware the second wave, where it comes into play. Because if that fluff factor comes in and we have a southern shift, you will see these areas increasing their snow totals. We will wait and watch, okay? So it's all on that second wave to see just how much moisture comes in and if we're gonna raise the snow totals. I would have to say probably north of US 30 has the best chance to see snow totals going up, but all areas farther south have the chance to see those snow totals coming up. Now, farther south into southern Tuscarawas, southern Carroll counties, we're gonna have a good glazing of ice, probably anywhere from a tenth to a quarter of an inch of ice. That can cause a lot of problems. Now, add on top of that, about 2 to 3, maybe 4 inches of sleet and snow. Ugh, that's not a good thing. As a matter of fact, the Berg is getting ready to deal with that too, so that was an interesting thing. Our storm impacts, this is why we keep telling you, focus on the impacts, don't focus on the numbers. We are going to have high impacts on the roads tomorrow. There will be times the road crews will not be able to keep up, and it's all falling on top of what will become ice. Not good. Air travel, lots of cancellations and delays already. The airlines have been calling people since Monday to get them to change their flights. And power outages. Think about how heavy and wet the snow is. Think about all the rain that we have had that's coating branches and pine trees especially. Now we're going to add snow on top of that, and things can just kind of droop a little bit with all of that weight. So we could have some localized power outages dealing with trees and all of that stuff. The wind is going to be kicking up, but I don't think we will have huge power outages, but I do think we will have some power outages. All right, notes to myself. I love to do this. This is like brain dump on these little stickies on this computer. It starts with rain. This has been my message since Sunday. I can't tell you how important it is to remember that ice is an underlying problem in all of this. So the block drains are still going to be an issue on roads, on your road, on driveways. I've gotten snarky emails and people telling me, you go dig them out. Well, you know what? If you want to protect your own property and your own neighborhood, then have at it, but I'm just telling you what's going on. And if you do have a chance, you still have a chance at this point to get out there and get that snow removed, especially like on your driveway and your decks. Oh, it's all gonna freeze. The change to snow will be taking place overnight and early Thursday. This is what basically I've been telling you for the last 20 minutes. This snow will weigh a lot, especially at the start. It will be very wet, it'll be slushy, and it'll be freezing as it falls and then falls onto a surface that will eventually start to accumulate and freeze. So you know how the difference is between nice fluffy snow and trying to shovel slush. So that is something that you're gonna have to keep in mind. Beware the second wave. I think I should have t-shirts made, Peyton. Beware the second wave, because that is the big story for the day tomorrow. I think tomorrow morning, a lot of folks are gonna wake up and they're gonna just, they're not going to be pleased because they don't perceive it to be as bad as we were saying it was going to be. Well, beware the second wave because we got more snow all day tomorrow. And there will be mixing farther south that continues into the afternoon. That is really going to be determining how much accumulation is at the end of the day. And again, any and all things wet and slushy will freeze solid by Friday, actually probably by Thursday night. So prepare, you still have time. I know a lot of folks have been, very up in arms and watching this very closely. Pay attention because tomorrow, if you have a chance to not go out, don't go out. And Friday is not exactly going to be a great day either because we're going to be very cold. We're going to have blowing snow. I would have to say Saturday would be probably the day that everybody's like, okay, now it's time back out into the world. And by Sunday and Monday, we're going to be just fine. So I am full on blaming the groundhog. I'm going to go there. And we are keeping a close eye on this. There are some more updates to come. Aside from their now winter storm warning for all of Northeast Ohio. You've been what? The entire state? The entire state of Ohio is now under a winter storm warning. Take this one seriously. I know we aren't getting the big snow totals that we had in the last storm, but this one is different. The duration, and especially the factoring in of the ice and the freezing up of slush, that is going to be a huge impact. Please take it seriously, folks. You can find me online at Betsy Kling, at Twitter, on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. We'll keep doing these updates here. We'll keep posting information at WKYC.com and on the WKYC app. But thanks for your patience, number one. And I promise we are working really hard to make sure we get it right. but at the same time, we keep it real. Have a great afternoon.